Here we have a 1972 Gran Torino Sport fastback. It's factory yellow with the laser stripe. I believe it to be original paint. It's got virtually no rust other than some on the underside of the hood and the underside of the trunk lid, but the quarters, doors, floors, everything are extremely solid. No patch panels. Don't believe it's been any accidents other than some of the dents that it has, like you can see in the door right there. It was in Arizona its whole life until about 8 years ago when it came to Washington, and it's been sitting ever since. So that's where the rust in the underside of the hood and the trunk came from just sitting outside in Washington for that time. But the body lines are all really nice. Everything lines up really well. The front end is all really straight. Maybe there's just a little dent in the valance, but not bad. The grill and the surround, even the trim around it. Trim around it has a couple small dings, but overall really nice grill molding. Bumpers are nice and straight. Doors open and close well. It's a 351 two-barrel car. It does not have the matching number engine. It's got a 351 Windsor that has been rebuilt, fairly low miles on it. The transmission as well, it's an automatic. It has 15-inch magnums that do have some rust from sitting up here in Washington. And the tires are pretty old, so it really should be replaced. But you can see lots of patina. Road rash from the dust in Arizona. Same with the front end. But really solid, no bubbles in the doors, no bubbles in the quarters. It has the original wheel well molding, which is extremely hard to find for a laser stripe car because it's different than the cars that come with the lower molding. Original laser stripe cars are pretty rare. Lots of them have been converted and had all the holes for the trim filled, but this is a factory laser stripe car. Real solid underneath. We'll show underneath the car in a bit, show you how clean it is. Never been undercoated. Again, lower quarter, really clean. Lots of patina, lots of chips, and obviously you can see the stripes are real faded, and just a little crack right there. This lip had been hit by something, and there's a dent there. Minor stuff, but see some surface rust, but the doors on these things always rust, and these look really good. Take a look at the underside. It's real clean underneath. See, no oil on the bottom of the motor. You can tell it doesn't have that many miles on it. No sign of damage. Car was never undercoated from the factory, so you can see obviously there's some surface rust, but all factory yellow paint under here makes it a lot easier to restore. This undercarriage would be a breeze to restore compared to a car that's been undercoated where you have to remove all that. So the transmission looks real clean, obviously been rebuilt. Exhaust looks nearly new. Looks like 2.5 maybe inch dual exhaust with a crossover tube. But the underside looks really clean, really solid. See the bottom of the quarter panels, no bubbles at all, no filler. Trunk drop-offs, no rust. Again, no undercoating, so you can see everything. Lower quarter on this side, same thing. You just don't find them any better than that. Wheel well, you can see some of the wheel well trim is missing the outer part. Have to fix that when they get restored. Wheel well looks good. Underside on the over here looks the same. Inside the wheel wells. Still read the original sticker, data sticker, real well, never been painted over. See the trim along the back above the trunk, or along the trunk lid and the extensions is real nice. The trunk, obviously there's some surface rust, but it's real solid. The back window does leak. Both the front and rear windows seals are all dry and shrunk from being in Arizona, so those need to be replaced. But clean original quarters. There's a little rust there, one hole, another small one there, real minor. Looks real good around the weather stripping. The trunk lid has some surface rust, and it does have a hole on the underside right there. Should be fairly easy to fix. The rest of it looks real good. The engine is a 351 Windsor. Has been rebuilt along with the transmission. Has fairly low miles. It's pretty much a stock rebuild. Still has a 2-barrel carb, exhaust manifolds. It's got DuraSpark electronic ignition. Runs good. Could probably use a carb cleanup, but no smoke, no noise. It's got the newer dual exhaust that sounds nice. It's pretty clean and original, other than being a different motor under the hood. The underside of the hood does have some rust on the underside. It'll need to be fixed, but the outer skin on top looks great. Car does run and drive. Although I haven't had it out on the road, it's been sitting for quite a while. It should really have some things work done to it before you take it on the road. It's going to need tires. Probably should have the brakes looked at. Needs a windshield wiper switch and a few other things. But if you wanted to, probably a weekend's worth of work or so, you could have it back on the road and driving. But the car really deserves to be restored. The interior on the car needs to be completely restored. From Arizona, the sun was. It will need some of the switches repaired or replaced. Excuse me. I replaced the ignition switch, so now that works fine. The wiper switch needs to be replaced. The wipers work, but they wouldn't park. You can get switches; they're very inexpensive, but it was going to be more than a week wait, so I didn't bother. Same with the headlight switch, and that's just from sitting here in the damp Washington weather for 8 years. It is an AC car, and most of the AC has been removed, but is included. Some of the heater AC box has been removed, the compressor, condenser, all that stuff, but it is all included. So you can put it back, get it working again. Good engine, transmission works well. Probably could use a tune-up from sitting. Fast idle works. The interior needs to be completely restored. As you would imagine, the door panels, or especially the driver's side, is completely destroyed from the sun in Arizona. It does come with another set of door panels that are in really nice shape. They'll need to be dyed to match, but they're good, clean panels with no speaker holes and no deterioration like that. But the whole interior does need to be restored. It needs everything: carpet, upholstery, headliner, dash pad's cracked. The rear carpet was removed from the rear window leaking. Sitting in Washington, both front and rear window seals are cracked and leaking, and that caused a lot of moisture inside the car. So there's also damage from that, but it's original. Still has the original radio. Stock, pretty much stock inside. It will need some of the switches repaired or replaced. Excuse me. I replaced the ignition switch, so now that works fine. The wiper switch needs to be replaced. The wipers work, but they wouldn't park. You can get switches; they're very inexpensive, but it was going to be more than a week wait, so I didn't bother. Same with the headlight switch, and that's just from sitting here in the damp Washington weather for 8 years. It is an AC car, and most of the AC has been removed, but is included. Some of the heater AC box has been removed, the compressor, condenser, all that stuff, but it is all included. So you can put it back, get it working again. Good engine, transmission works well. Probably could use a tune-up from sitting. Fast idle works. Overall, this would make a great Torino to restore. Like I said, it could be driven probably with a weekend or two's worth of work, get it on the road again, but it really does deserve restoration. Overall, real solid, straight, Pretty well optioned car. It's factory air conditioning, so it's got the factory tinted windows, power steering, power disc brakes, laser stripes, and a nice original color.